everybody, welcome to another stream. So just getting on, had a bit of issues with the old airbrush, just getting the white in, but yeah, Emperor's Children have launched, which is pretty awesome. Do apologise if this is noisy, I just need to get the airbrushing done on these. Hey dude, welcome in. Did you manage to get yourself some? Not fully too sure if I'm going to stick to this way of doing it. I might just do it entirely by brush. Hi. So I really like the way that Fletcher over at Tabletop Tactics has done their army. Really quite like the fact that they've kept the pink in the sort of upper part of the army. So I figured that, you know, I'm going to do the same. So I'm just going to airbrush, get the initial white down for the pink to go onto. Still getting used to using the airbrush on the way to Christmas. So bear with me if my airbrushing skills are not very good. And this airbrush is not the best, to be completely honest. It has a nasty habit of drying out quite a lot, and this little part here at the end, the little guard, I can't for the life of me get it off. Now normally when I've airbrushed before I would just take that off while I'm airbrushing, but I can't. It seems to be stuck on, so this is just the little airbrush that you get with the compressor. So as I get used to using it, I will ultimately replace it and get a better one. So yeah. But did everyone did you get a box? Who got a box? Right, almost done. I had a couple of blockages with this as well. As you see, it constantly keeps drying out, and then I'm having to constantly take the end off and dry it. It's very annoying, and every now and again I'll get water building up in the pipe. Of all the problems that I've never had with an airbrush, I now get the problems. So just airbrushing the white on, I'm going to then get the pink in place, and then it's all brushwork from there. Right, I think that's enough. Let's get rid of this white. I'm just going to close the microphone off while I clean this brush out. Alright, let's get on to some Empress Children pink. Okay. So my idea is I'm going to airbrush the pink in. So if you've watched Tabletop Tactics battle reports, they have the way Fletcher's done it is they've got the pink is on the shoulder pads and the upper body, and then the shoulder pad, this one, is like a gold colour, and then everything else is black and gold with some light verdigris. It looks really, really good. And rather than have like a crap load of pink all mishmashed all over the different parts of the model, I figured, you know what, I quite like the way they're doing that. I want to do that. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So we're going for some nice pink, because it's Empress Children. That's kind of what we want. Also, it's a lot of goop. What I'm going to do is just get rid of that. probably about... This is one thing I hate about airbrushing, is the whole part of the paint. Like, dropper bottles are great, but if I showed you my white, that is literally bunged up and doesn't come out of the bottle anymore. So I'm going to have to do something with that. And then GW paints, which I enjoy and mostly use, are a nightmare to use with an airbrush. Okay, let's go. That's far too thin. A part of me's thinking that I should just hand brush this rather than use the airbrush. Because I've got all my pinks, I'm definitely thinking that probably be quicker if I hand brush them. And get the initial base coat down. How goes the excess paint job? I'm very quiet. It's probably because my microphone is facing the other direction. How's that? Is that better? Is that a little bit closer to me now? Okay. So kind of get there. Oh, everything. I'm going to black everything out with the black. But yeah, it's not too bad. Right, let's get the load of excess. This model is absolute, still quite on side, but better. Okay, let's have a little look. 1 second. Right, how's that? I don't want to turn the microphone up on the mic too much because I end up getting a crap load of feedback from it. Why are you doing this? Just been doing Terminators? Ooh. Yeah, I was going to pick up some Terminators for the Emperor's Children. does this constantly do that? In fact, you know what, let me switch to a different... Alright, how's that? Is that better? Should be a lot better. Yeah, not really loving the airbrush for this job, to be fair. I think I should have just used a brush. Because it keeps... I'm going to have to go over this with a brush anyway. Right, screw it. We're going to use a brush. This is annoying me. Yeah, this is annoying me. We're just going to use a brush. Just going to do some brush work. Let me give this a quick clean out. I think it's just the fact that it's just not going as well as I want. I need a better airbrush. It just doesn't... I think I need to strip this one from top to bottom. Yeah, right, that's enough airbrushing, it's annoying me. Okay. Right, so we're just going to do some classic brush work. That's what we're going to do, just brush work, brush, brush, brush. Right, so I'm going to try this. right back. I'm just gonna change my water because I've got a lot of thinner in it. Right, better. I mean, you don't come here for top quality streams. I mean, it's not what you come here for. Okay. So, let's do some Ember's Children. So my idea is I'm going to use a matte varnish to go over the black areas before doing the highlighting. I do love the fact that this model has a nipple ring. I think that's actually hilarious. So again, I could probably just airbrush the white in and then go from there rather than do all of the pink. But yeah, the idea is to use like a matte varnish over the black areas, which will give a different finish on the black to the rest of the model. And then do the edge highlighting as normal. That way, when you look at the black, it'll be a lot sort of, it'll make the highlight colours stand out a lot more because they'll be satin, where the black actually will have a matte finish. That's the plan, that's the theory. I'm going to try it, see if that works. Now these models are not going to be easy to paint. I'll be honest now. If you are relatively new to painting, the Empress Children minis are packed with detail, like a lot of detail. Like here's the Noise Marine bodies. Like as a primary example, here's a Primaris. So they're chunky boys. They really are big boys. Like they're big. Like even a normal Marine is like on par with a Primaris Marine. So yeah, that's I don't know why I'm bothering with that because the cloak and everything's going to be there, so you're not going to see it. But the book is absolutely insanely good, like amazingly good. But yeah, it's I've had a lot of fun giving it a good read. Um, I need to work out how to do my painting tutorial video. And I need to work out how I'm going to build the other 10 Marines. I'm thinking 2 units of Tormentors. The Infractors are the close combat guys. So I'm thinking 2 units of the bolt gun guys here, because they're... What is going on in this picture? Oh, that's bad. Don't know what the hell was going on with that one. I need to sort this stream out. There's like... I've used it for so much that all the scenes are all like all over the place. Okay. So what we'll do is we're just going to concentrate on this guy. This is the guy that I originally wanted to do the test model on. So I started doing the airbrushing, but it was annoying me. So what we're going to do is we're going to base coat all of the white areas, and then I'm going to get my black out everything else, and then I'll start putting the trim in, and then we'll get edge highlighting. But I want the black power armor, and then all of the undersuit, like a different like layer of black. So only the black power armor I'm going to matte varnish. All of the undersuit parts I will leave as a normal satin black, so you'll have different finishes of black on the miniature. But yeah, they are absolutely stunning models. The army itself is just insanely good. Like, for me, they are probably the best Chaos Space Marine range that GW do. They really, really are that good. All the heads and stuff I'll do separately. But yeah, they are going to be fun. I can't wait to get Fulgrim. That model. And Lucius the Eternal. Lucius, that I will be doing a full tutorial from start to finish for Lucius. It's probably going to be up on the members area for a bit. And then I'll put it up on the main channel. But yeah, he is going to be so much fun to do. Right. Need that to dry. But yeah, I picked up a sorcerer as well. Trying to work out the best way of painting them. This model's a nightmare to build. I'm still not too sure if I'm going to do a bit of converting work on him. But yeah, he's in bits at the moment. I'm thinking of probably painting him in like 2, maybe 3 parts like this, just so I can get in and all of the cloak and stuff. And then I'm going to use one of the Emperor's Children heads on him. But yeah, nice little sorcerer planned for the army. Definitely want to do a definitely want to be doing a Demon Prince, without a doubt. Like, that's going to be like the top of the list for the army to do. Trying out one of these Army Painter base coat brushes. I do need some other brushes from I'm going to change my opinion on Army Painter brushes, because I used them years ago and they were absolutely terrible. They just seem to... They never seem to hold the point. I almost bought a set of oil set acrylics for fun, but I want to try full-on oil painting or bust. Someday I'll afford Warhammer stuff, but the paint set I want is like $70. Yeah, I seen a guy on YouTube once, and he literally painted a Sisters of Battle Space Marine using nothing but oil paints, and it was insane. Absolutely insane. Like, yeah, the level of detail that he got on that miniature was absolutely nuts. One of the things I will say, right, is if you are using like acrylic paint, and you're using like acrylic primers, you know, like GW primers and stuff, especially the colour ones, still base coat your miniature with your base colour. So if you buy like the Ultramarines blue primer from GW, you know, still get Ultramarines blue and slap it on there after you've primed it. Don't just like paint over the primed area and leave that as your base coat, because for a start the finish of the two blues are not going to be the same. So yeah, screw it. I'm going to do this entirely by hand. I'm not going to bother with the airbrush going forward. It's too fiddly. It's just going to slow me down. I think the airbrush will work perfectly for the tanks and the larger, well, I say larger models. We don't really have large models in this army. I was going to say the Hellbrutes, but we don't have any. Sad times. That's probably about the only big thing that I'm upset about the whole point of the army, is that we don't have access to Hellbrutes. Now I understand why we don't have Hellbrutes. Like, the army has some quite potent damage output from range from the Noise Marines, and maybe the Hellbrutes would be a little bit OTT, but you know, I just wanted an excuse to buy a Hellbrute. I guess I'll have to get an Imperial Knight instead. Right, I'm just blacking this part out. I know it's going to be like covered, but just getting the parts black. See, if I hadn't my idea, my plan for today was not what was happening right now. So my initial idea was to get up from work yesterday and then do all of the prep work today. So all of what you're seeing me do now would have been done yesterday. And then I would have got in to start doing some like nice painting. But I couldn't sleep yesterday. So I ended up like being very annoyed and not getting to sleep until like after 11 o'clock in the morning, which is not good when you've got a night shift to do. So I was ended up waking up a lot later than I originally wanted to, which meant all of this stuff I wasn't able to get done. So hence the reason why we're doing it today. But for the green, the green cloth, I'm probably gonna go something like a Strachan green, or maybe a Nurgling green, or probably a Krieg khaki green. The reason why is because that colour is really, really, really nice, and I just want an excuse to use it more often. It's really nice. It's going to be quite a nice green. I think that would work quite well with the pink, and then I will then use like Carbolite and Cyberite green as is the sort of shade, and then from there shade down and then sort of edge highlight up, and then mix in some probably Uthwan grey into the Krieg to start building up the highlights. That's how I think I'm going to do the cloth. Not sure if that's how that's going to work, but yeah. We'll see if it works or not. So there's a lot of kind of see this here, these patches. These are like skin or like leather. Now in some of the models you'll see that they're painted black, and they do like obviously they've got the black power armor, and then they have the different color sort of black. I think for this ease of army painting I'll probably just do them all like skin. I think that'll make it a little bit easier and faster, because I could probably get lost in this army quite easily, and then spend a long time painting it. But yeah, they are absolutely awesome. If you are a 30k fan and wanting to do Emperor's Children for 30k, this kit would be a great sort of start for that army. You get this kit in a box of Mark 6 Space Marines, and you'll probably be able to build some quite nice Emperor's Children just by mixing the two kits together. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna look pretty sweet. Right. For the matte varnish on the black, I'm just gonna brush it on. Okay. Actually, this big brush is not that bad. Look, I praised something about Army Painter. I said something that they do is good. Yeah, no, actually not too bad actually. It holds quite a lot of paint. Although, to be fair, I would prefer my Rosemary CO Series 33 size 2. But it's going to be a while before they arrive. Okay. So plan. We are going to do... This shoulder pad is going to be entirely gold. Then I'm going to do some nice verdigris on it. Probably do this Ricard flesh and then give it a flesh wash. This banding here is probably going to be gold. Same with this banding here. Although, to be fair, there's not that much trim on these models. Not that much. Then this will be silver. In fact, let's have a little look at the codex. So, the colour palettes for the codex, like, there are some interesting colour choices in the army. See, they do a mixture of gold and silver on the model. You know, sometimes you get likes of, see, you get likes of Chaos, you'll get like the silver, and then they have like little bits of gold added in. It's the same as, like that's a obviously, I mean, if you want a quick, easy paint scheme, that one is probably the easiest to do, which is the gold and the sort of real dark magenta silver, which would work really well. But if you look at the likes of the Marines, you've got like the silver on it, but that's entirely what they are, silver, pink, and then that's basically it. And then this part here, all doing the flesh colour, which is kind of what I'm thinking. But yeah, on the flip side, there are bits of gold, so I'll probably do the shoulder pad gold, and then the rest of it, the trim silver. And I did get a silver today. I got a new silver. I got Iron Breaker, so we're gonna do that now. Then I can tidy up all of the black areas with black before matte varnishing them down. But this is the fun part of a new army. Oh man, it's got a hair right in the end of it. It has. Oh, look at that. That hair is horrible. Ah, that needs to be cut off. See if you ever get a brush that has like one wayward hair. Yeah, get rid of it, because that was going to be annoying. It's actually not a bad tip on this brush, to be fair, and it's actually got quite a decent size reservoir, so it's holding a lot of the paint, which is kind of what we want from a brush. Yeah, don't tell Army Painter I said some nice things. I don't know what kind of brush it is, it's a big chunky one. I want to get the silver on now because I want to start getting the silver, oh sorry, the pink sort of glazed in and worked down. The one thing that I have noticed on YouTube is there isn't that many good painting tutorials for the Emperor's Children. Has anyone noticed that? Like, Cult of Paint, Henry's done his, and I think there was another one up the other day. And I think it was sort of more of your sort of classic metallic pinks, and then he did the Noise Marine one. I haven't seen any video from like Richard Gray or anyone like that. I mean, I've seen quite a few videos of them basically just being slap chopped. But yeah, I've not seen actual... What is that? Is that a hook? It is a hook. Yeah, I've not seen like many sort of heavy metal style painting videos. It all seems to be speed painted and slap chopped. Fucking horrible Forsaken technique. Yeah, I seen Jugs, the Jugs podcast were doing and they did a podcast about the so-called feud between Forge World and the normal design team from GW, as if that was an actual thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure the bean counters would, you know, not give a shit which studio's doing which model as long as it's sold and made money. I love live painting. More channels should do these. Thank you for sharing. No problem, man. I want to get more. I want to do more live stream painting as it is. Because if I'm sitting here painting my army, which I'm going to be doing a lot of with this one, then I might as well turn the camera on and have a chat with you lovely people while painting. I just made a mistake. See? And then you get to see me make mistakes like that, you see? See? Correction. There you go. All corrected. Okay, I take this back. There is actually quite a lot of annoying trim. I mean, live streaming on Twitch, which is what I did before coming to YouTube. It was fun, and you kind of knew what you could and couldn't do. But on YouTube, I'm kind of like, I don't know what I can and can't do in regards to like playing music. Like, am I allowed to play music? Do I just not have the live stream play backable? It's like there's a whole host of things that you're kind of like, can I do this? So yeah, how have I managed? Okay, I take it back. I don't like this brush at all. Like, oh my god, it's annoying. Right, I did get another army painter brush. Oh, cheers, Sam. Thank you very much. It's very heavily inspired from Fletcher's painting from Tabletop Tactics. I watched their battle report and was like really impressed with how he'd done the army. I haven't watched his painting tutorial because I don't. I'm not signed up to their plus channel or whatever it is. Don't get me wrong, I like them, but I'm not signing up just for a painting tutorial. And like I enjoy watching their battle reports, but it kind of annoys me that they put their reviews of codexes behind a paywall. So I was really looking forward to the review to listen to what Lawrence had to say, knowing that he's a big Emperor's Children fan like myself. And I was really looking forward to, seeing what he had to say about the codex and how certain things have been, like the way GW have done certain things. And they stuck it behind a paywall, and that's kind of annoying considering that they got sent the book for free, and the whole point is for them to promote the product, to obviously drive sales for GW and all of that good stuff, and they're there putting it behind a paywall, and they're the only channel that does that. which is kind of annoying. Yeah, it kind of infuriates me. More so when it's a friggin', I want to hear their opinions. But I don't want to have to pay to hear their opinion. So yeah, I was a bit like miffed at that. But yeah, I had a really good chat with Ben from More Warhammer. He is a really nice guy, talking all things Age of Sigmar in his first tournament. So if you haven't checked that video out, you should really go and check that one out. It was actually funny because he turned it up in our local gaming AOS Discord that we have, and it's like people were sharing some of his videos, and it was like cool, but we'd both seen each other in the club and like recognized each other, but not worked out like where we knew each other from, and then it worked out obviously that we'd obviously YouTube, the YouTubes, right. So we're gonna go for gold. So we're gonna get that gold. So we're gonna do the shoulder pad gold. Yeah. I mean, it does annoy me when channels do that. They get sent things for free, and then they put it behind a paywall. That's kind of annoying. I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. I think the whole point of being given things for free is to promote the shit out of the product, so people like us buy it. Not, they're already getting monetized from that anyway, with ad views and subscriptions and all of that kind of stuff. You know, putting a really cool battle report up on the channel on the day of the review is, you know, they don't necessarily need to put one on YouTube on that day. They could put the battle report up on the channel on behind their paywall, and then have the review up on YouTube, and then having them doing a little bit more of a deep dive behind the paywall. But the actual initial review should be free. They're not paying for the book. So hashtag rant over. Right, so we're going to do this gold. Now my idea for this is we're going to get a nice solid opaque gold, and then I'm going to use some contrast paint, probably tarragon turquoise, I think that's what it's called, and then we're going to make like a heavy wash with that, and what that will do is it will darken down the gold. It will give it like a very worn sort of look, and then from there I'll be able to then do all the verdigris and stuff like that. I think what I need to do is more like the line Marines and the regular guys, having them mainly just the shoulder pad being gold, and then the sort of more elite, the flawless blades, the noise Marines, having them with more gold trim. Right. Okay. So we've got a little bit of tidying up to do on the black, and then that needs to dry, and we'll probably do that another layer. I just need some Rakar flesh on that there. Rakar flesh, where is it? Seriously? Am I going blind? No. Yes, I am. You know I'm not. So who in the chat picked up the box? Who's got the army box? I wonder how many madmen bought 2. My local store does have quite a few of them. But yeah, I think it's definitely good value. I mean, you get 33 models in it for a start. Now, my only gripe about the whole box is you get 2 units of Noise Marines, but you don't get the Lord Caphonics. The dude with the organ on his back. You don't get it, one of them. Which, if they'd have put one of them in the box alongside the Lord Exalted, that would have been absolutely insane. That box would have had insane amount of value. Because even the combat patrol that's going to be coming out, I think it's next month, with the main range, that's, you get a unit of these Marines, the Tormentors Infractors. You get the 6 Flawless Blades, and then that's it, and you get a Lord Exultant again. The problem is you're gonna get at least one of those boxes. Maybe 3 of them at the most. Well, let's be fair. You're probably going to get 3 because you're going to want to use 3 units of 6 Flawless Blades, because Flawless Blades absolutely are insane. So you're going to be left. You're going to have at least 3 Lord Exultants in your collection. So I think what they could have done is, rather than put the Lord Exultant in this launch box, put the Lord Cataphonics in instead. That way then, you know, you're not going to end up with like 4 of them in your army, in your collection. I just think it would have been a sort of better value for money. From the box perspective. Right, so what I'm going to do, just tidy up this black. That pipe that's running along his chest here, I'm probably going to do that. Probably going to do that in like a sort of tealy colour. Okay, I reckon we can start highlighting that pink. What time is it? Oh yeah, loads of time. We've got at least another hour before I need to jump off. England play Wales today, so with the potential of maybe winning the Six Nations. I'm going to be watching that. I will probably go live at some point again tomorrow. Maybe. So keep an eye out for the channel, just in case I do. But I will be live throughout the week. Right. I think we can start looking at the black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of matte varnish. Looks a bit garish right now, but I'm going to get a little bit of matte varnish once that dries. This part here just needs to dry. And I'm using ultra matte. This stuff. This is the experiment. This is where we think if it'll work or not. So the idea is to paint this over all of the black areas, the power armor, not the undersuit, and then from there, once it's dry, start doing the edge highlighting. This is either going to work and it's going to look good, or it's not going to work. It'll look bad. Okay. So apparently there's a couple of guys on Instagram that I've seen do this. I think it's Chris Paints Minis, does the size of the Emperor Army. I know he's done it. There's another guy. What's he called? Just seen him. Breach and Brush. He does a lot of Black Templars and Blood Angels and Orcs. This guy, he does the same. He matte downs the black before doing the edge highlights. So it kind of changes the finish on how the black will look. So and I figured the Emperor's Children are supposed to be an army of sort of different experiences. So their armor would be quite weird. So you're just going to get different tones and hues in the black. And if it doesn't work, we can just repaint it. That's the beauty of painting miniatures. I haven't quite decided what colour I'm going to do that belt yet. I think with the amount of sort of bluey colours I'm going to have on here, I might do the belt like a brown colour. Well, I would have maybe done black leather, but see. Okay, I'm liking how this is looking. It's a little bit fiddlier than normal, but you also end up getting a different finish from the pink, because obviously the pink's going to be more satin. What is that? What the hell is that? Right, okay. Oh wow, yeah, that really does matte down somewhat. Wow, cool. I can already see the difference straight away. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I can see the difference on that black compared to the other parts of the miniature. That's insane. Right, okay. We'll let that dry a little bit more. I suppose if I was, when I do it again for the others, I'll do the black and then I'll matte everything down and then start doing the highlights and everything else over the top. But yeah, you can definitely see the difference between the black here and the sort of, I don't know if you can sort of see the difference between the black and the undersuit, of how it makes the two stand out already. But that's just crazy. Really cool though. Right, okay. So let's get a little bit of Scream Pink. I'm going to start doing some work on the pinks. So we're just going to do a bit of a 50-50 mix of Screamer Pink and Screamer Pink, Empress Children Pink, and some Pink Horror. I'm just going to start glazing that down now. Just using a bit of kitchen roll just to get rid of the excess paint. That needs to be gone over another layer. Pink is definitely an interesting colour to work with. It has all of the properties that you get from like a red paint, but the problem is you also get all of the issues that you get with working with a white paint, because it's got actually quite a lot of white pigment in there. Right, let that Yeah, I definitely think I'm just going to do this as brushwork rather than airbrush. I've got a little bit better control over it then. The one thing about using this scene for the stream rather than the other one is I don't know if I've got any notifications or anything. So if anyone has subscribed while watching, I didn't hear. I didn't get any notifications because they're not on this scene. But I do say thank you anyway. If you haven't subscribed, but you are enjoying it, then hit the subscribe button. And we can test and see if it does actually work. Right, that's better. So what I'm going to do while that dries, I'm just going to thin down some ricotta flesh, some Reichland flesh shade. If you've got a flesh colour from the contrast range, that's probably would be a lot better than Reichland. But I don't have any flesh tones for contrast paints. I'll be completely honest, I only really use my contrast paint for mostly washes. Apart from some colours that I specifically bought for like speed painting projects. It's oh. Right, just not that pool. Okay. You could, when doing this in batch painting, you kind of do one and then jump onto the next one, and then by the time you get back to this one, everything is dry. You kind of just want to kind of do like a heavy glaze wash. We're going to be tidying back up with the Empress Children anyway. It's kind of just getting that sort of darker pink in, and that's why I use the 50-50 mix initially rather than going straight in for pink horror, because pink horror is a lot darker, and it'll just But we can really sort of darken that down. Okay, let that dry. Kind of see it on the shoulder pads starting to form. Okay, then we just get some pure pink horror. As you can see, I've not washed this silver areas yet. I'll do that after, because I may need to tidy it up. For the deepest recesses, so like to this part on the front, these little vents on the front, you can sort of drop in some Screamer Pink into there, and that'll really sort of bring it out. But we're going to be glazing over the top with some Fulgrim Pink and Empress Children Pink, just to sort of bring up that highlight a little bit more. So this is going to be pretty bright and garish by the time we're finished. You let that dry a little bit. And just while that's doing, just tidy up. When I'm generally sort of working out a scheme, I mean, that's a really good example of the different black with that matte varnish over the top of the armor plates. But yeah, as I'm generally working on a scheme, I'll kind of bounce around the model until I, get it all done. And then I set myself, like, I work out. Oh my god, I haven't drilled that barrel out. Oh, such a noob. Also, yeah, drill your barrels out, peeps. Don't be like me, not doing it. But yeah, I'll bounce around the model, decide on everything that I'm doing, and then I kind of get myself in a process of being able to paint each individual part that I need. So already just by doing this, I know that I'm gonna do the pink first, do all of the matte varnishing on the black, and then put the metallics over the top, and then I can always like touch up and revarnish, and then do other parts, rather than get all of the base coats down like I am now. Like, it's probably not going to work as well as it currently is. And then, now that that darker shade is dry, we can get back in with the more brighter pink. It's quite thin, so it's pretty good. And if you've painted enough Horus Heresy Marines, you'll kind of spot where all of the armor lines are for the edge highlights, because on the Mark 6 there's a distinct line that comes down on the chest piece here and along the front. You can kind of just make it out, but this guy's obviously got a load of trim on it, so it kind of does hide it a little bit, but it is there. It's exactly the same as the Mark 6. It seems to be that this kit is being built off the Mark 6 plastics. That's kind of what they've used as the base for the sculpting. So if you approach it exactly the same way as you would one of the Mark 6 Heresy Marines, you'll have zero problems working out where all the highlights need to be. Right, so what I'm going to do now is probably get one of the brightest pinks I've ever seen. I didn't even think GW made a pink this bright. Like, look at that. That's insane. Fulgrim pink. Holy crap, that is incredibly pastel. But that's what we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 50-50 mix of Emperor's Children. I mean, like, if you look at the two, there is a big difference. So sticking this on top of this without a 50-50 transition is going to be nuts. So bear that in mind if you are painting Emperor's Children. So just going to make a 50-50 mix of that. You want this to be like a chunky edge highlight is basically what we're looking for. But we are going to do a bit of a glaze with it at the beginning. Because it's just going to brighten up those upper surfaces. Now, with this Fulgrim pink, you are adding a shitload more white into that mix. So just be careful. It's going to get chalky. Okay, and when you're ready, start doing an edge highlight. There isn't much to edge highlight, to be fair. But if you are doing like the classic sort of pink in random different areas on the model, and you've done like a leg or an arm and a hand and stuff, then you're obviously going to have a lot more pink to edge highlight. And all I've done is switch to my Series 323 brush, because these brushes are really, really good for edge highlighting. Don't know how much you can see that on the camera. I feel like as a test mini, this one is looking quite good. I'm quite happy with how that works. Also, it's a test mini that I've done on a non-character model, which is a first for me. So yeah, you can kind of see that that line is just here. So bear that in mind if you are painting the chest piece pink. The helmets and are going to be basically pink as well, and the power packs. The power packs on the Empress Children Marines are big. They're pretty big and chunky, and they're not like the Heresy ones. There is actually some size to them. I'll show you them now. That's not one. So, like, they are chunky. They're pretty big slabs of plastic. So what my idea for this is have this part here pink, and then obviously this part black, and then do the metallic for the parts that need to be put metallics. But they're a nice kit. That's the idea for the power pack. So there'll be the upper part will be pink, and then the lower part will be black, which I'm going to be jumping on in a second. I'm going to be doing some of the black power armor. Okay, and then final highlight, which is literally pure fulgrim pink. And as you can see, that pink is bright. Any tips on painting models with shaky hands? For the last year or so, I was unable to do any detail-based working. I used to have really bad shaky hand, and it was my right hand, and I'm right-handed. So this hand used to shake a lot, really quite bad. Basically, try to, like, I use the GW holders, so you can hold the model, and then when I paint, you can kind of see that I'll rest my hand on the model. So I'll rest either like that, or I'll rest my finger on it and brace my hand the best that I can. And you kind of, so when I'm painting, I've got my forearms and my elbows onto my desk, and then you can see how this finger, my little finger, is kind of what I'm using as a brace for my hand. It's just a matter of getting comfortable. You kind of see that highlight on that pink. It's going to be pretty bright. Not going to lie. It's going to be a... I don't think you'll need to go any brighter than that fulgrim pink. Like, that is bright. Like, that is, like, next level bright. I mean, if you wanted to get it a little brighter, add a little bit of white to it, I suppose. Or a little bit of something like ivory. Maybe a little bit of ice lemon or dawn yellow if you use DW paints. Although I'd be a bit reluctant to add a yellow into it. I'd definitely, if you're going to add something like a nice yellow, I'd experiment first to see what the final tone's going to look like. Thanks for the tip. Trying to get back to painting now that I am on the disability. No tint on no tint of purple for the pink. No tint, as in the shade. I've gone as far as pink. I can darken this down a lot more if I wanted with something like Screamer Pink. But I don't know yet. I'm still deciding on... kind of still deciding on how far I want that to go. I mean, I could probably drop that down a lot darker here. Definitely, you could definitely get like a... In fact, I'll do it now and see what it looks like. If it doesn't turn out the way I want, I can always like re-glaze in and sort of blend it out, but we'll have a little look. Like Screamer Pink is probably one of the better colours to use. Especially for like the real deeper recesses. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. I mean, you can... This is why I haven't done the silver yet, because I can really cut into it. I mean, you could probably glaze that down if you want, but the glove lavender colour seems to blend in with that model. Yeah, I'm not that fancy yet. I haven't got my you know, I haven't done what a lot of pro streamers, YouTubers do and get the jet black tattoo gloves. You know, maybe if I start live streaming a lot more, then I'll invest in some, and we can have the black hand. You know, and then I'll look like a true pro miniature painter on YouTube. There. Now, there's certain parts of that I quite like. I quite like the real black part. That sort of Screamer pink is kind of good at sort of breaking his black lining, essentially. That silver. Um, so yeah, I think that actually works. I think that looks quite nice. But what I am going to do is we're going to change this palette paper because I want to crack on with this black. Because I'm intrigued to see how this is going to work with that matte varnish. So we've got about half an hour or so before I need to go because I'm watching the Ruggers. So we'll see what that looks. But so far, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how that's working. Now I'm going to use my standard black recipe. Also, yeah, get one of these guys. Get one of these. These things are brilliant. These things are so good. Help you with your primary colors. So you're like, you know, you got your pink as your primary, and it works really quite well with your tertiary colors and your secondary colors, and really good. So if you are new to painting, get one of these. Color theory is amazing. Right. What we need is some Incubi Darkness. Oh yeah, get some Incubi in there. So with this sort of parts of the model, what I can do is do a different black. So I'll do more of a sort of grey, neutral looking black, using things like Dawnstone, Eshin Grey, stuff like that. But for the black armor, we'll go for the classic, tried and tested Incubi Darkness. Over the black. So for this chunky highlight, oh wow, okay, this is yeah, Chris was not lying when he said it makes the highlights stand out a lot more. Damn, it really does. Okay. Already a fan of this, already. Already a fan. Don't know if you can see that. You can see how sort of that highlight is standing out. It's a little bit brighter on the camera than it is in real life, but I'm really digging that look. Also, the shoulder pads in a lot of this armor seems to be incorporated into the forearm armor. So you know, like Space Marines, they generally have like an elbow pad. The Emperor's Children guys don't. It seems to be incorporated into that one piece of armor. Yeah, that's quite nice. But this is painting heavy metal style. A lot of edge highlighting. Obviously, some people like it, like me. Other people don't. You know, you'll have other creators that will dismiss it. I think there's definitely an element of skill involved in this because it's a lot of hand-eye coordination. Um, just trying to work out where to put the highlights. But yeah, I think as a first one, it's looking pretty nice. So I am gonna just do this black a second. Just gonna wash. I'm just gonna use Newell oil. The new formula Newell oil is actually quite good. It kind of works a bit like a contrast paint now. The way it just sort of sits in the recesses. And you can obviously go over it multiple times if you need to real darken it down. If you don't really like the new GW washes, and I know a couple of people have been quite critical of them, use something like Rattling Grime. I found really quite good for a dark armor wash. Rattling Grime and there's like a sewer. I think it's called. It begins with a G. But the new Newell oil will work just as fine. I'm too old and too impatient. Mr. Slap Chop himself. How's you, Pete? I could probably embrace Slap Chop if I didn't. Well, I enjoyed the speed painting. I just don't like it. I think it's the dry brushing part that kind of annoys me with it. It's because a lot of people can't dry brush properly, and I kind of feel that that's what kind of annoys me with the technique. I'm only getting this on now because then I can leave the silver parts completely. Either leave them as they are, or sort of like bring them down a bit more afterwards. But yeah, if you're gonna do, you could, if you really wanted to, you didn't want the black, you could do something like a shyish purple contrast paint, washed thinned down and washed over the metallics to give it a bit more pinky look. But I think the black is fine for what you need. But yeah, I think this is going to turn out really well, if I may say so myself. But yeah, I think they're going to look quite good. I'm really interested to start getting into the Noise Marines. They're going to be super fun to paint. And the good thing about the army box is I only need to buy one more box of Noise Marines when they come out. And then I'll have my 3 units that I'm allowed to use. No more, because, you know, rule of 3 and all of that good stuff. But I've got these 10 guys built and started building the Noise Marines, but I'm not too sure on what to build the other squad of these guys as. I'm definitely leaning towards 2 units of these guys with the guns rather than the close combat ones. Mainly because they've got the infiltrate. Ooh, Mr. Pete, are you still there? I have a rules question. I just need to do that hand. Right, where is he? Mr. Pete. Shoot. Awesome. Right. So, the Lord Exalted has a rule. Where is it? Right, and this got me confused. So, he has a rule. So, if he joins a unit, he gives them lethal. But it's this one here, the Lord of Hosts. So, if this model is attached to an Ember's Children battle line unit during the declared battle formation step, this model has the infiltrates and scout special rule. So, the Infractors, these guys, have scout. No, they don't. They have infiltrate. And the Tormentors have the scout. So if I join a Lord Exultant to the close combat guys, does he give them infiltrate? Or is this rule meant to be for giving him infiltrate and scout regardless of which unit he joins? Because I was under the impression that if he joined the unit anyway, he would get that rule regardless of whichever one he joined. That is a weird ass grenade and I have no idea what it is. So the next layer of highlight, we're going to be doing some you can only use infiltrate or scout rules if every model in the unit has that rule. So that rule on his sheet lets him join units without... right, okay. I figured that's what it was, but it was the way it was sort of worded. I was like, hang on. Is he getting these rules and then handing them off to other units? Because I was like, if I've interpreted that wrong and it's the way I've thought it was initially, like, that would be busted as shit. And they're already pretty busted ass units as it is. But yeah, cool. So it just basically allows him to join the two battle line units without actually turning off their ability. Gotcha. I really need a Demon Prince. Demon Princes are going to be really good in this army. So just taking my time with the edge highlight. If I make a mistake or make it too fat, then what I can do is just get the Incubi Darkness and just cut back in. and that'll thin it down somewhat. But like to the edge of the greaves and stuff, just use the side of the brush and just slide it across the edge and let the edge of the plastic do the work for you. But that edge highlighting, that I definitely like the matte black over the top. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's the Combat Patrol is pretty good. It's the Combat Patrol is, where is it? There it is. So you get Lord Exultant, 10 of them guys, and 6 Flawless Blades. Be kind of intrigued to see next week's previews. It's actually a really good point. Has GW announced when the live stream is going to be for Adepticon? I don't think they have they? Unless I've missed it. No, they haven't. That's really weird. I thought they would have announced that by now, considering it's meant to be... Oh no, it's at least another week away. So it's going to be at some... It's basically between Wednesday the 26th and Sunday the 30th is Adapticon. So probably the Friday. Yeah, I thought they would have at least said something by now, considering that it's going to be a big reveal show. I mean, if the rumors are true, this is the reveal show that they allegedly will show the new edition of Horus Heresy, if there is actually a new edition coming. I still don't think there is. I just can't see how the Specialist Design Studio can accommodate a 3-year cycle for its games. I mean, they're not exactly quick to get things FAQ'd. So, you know, I'm not fully convinced that there's a new edition of the Horus Heresy coming. I think there's definitely something coming for the Horus Heresy. I just don't think it's a new edition. Because there's a lot of miniatures that they've shown off that are already in books or in a campaign book. So yeah, I think we're probably going to be moving into a new phase, but we will find out in 2 weeks' time. it's the Thursday evening US time, so early Friday morning. Well, I am off. No, I'm not. I'll be working. So if it's not too early, I might be able to get live streaming it, but I think I'll be working. Why can't they just do it in the afternoon? It's not like it matters what time they do it at. It's because it's pre-recorded anyway. That's what they did with the Middle Earth for the few released previously, for the most recent one. What do you mean? They pumped out all of the releases before dropping a new edition? 3-year editions for the Heresy? That'll piss the Heresy fans off. GW need to be moving away from the 3-year edition because they can't support it. They can't get the game updated in time. There's only so much that you can do before you piss your player base off and they stop playing and buying your product. I mean, you see it every edition. The last codex that drops, within 6 months the book is invalidated, and you're sat there. Okay, 11th edition will be a little bit different in regards to that it's not an index edition. We're not getting a massive reset like we did for 10th. So, your codex should, in theory, carry over into the new edition. But GW can't not stop pissing about with the core rules. In 2021-22, they put out a new Middle Earth starter box with minis and terrain, but the book was just a reprint of the rules. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What the Horus Heresy is going to be. I don't think it's a new edition. I think it's going to be a new box set, a new starter set. Because from what I've heard, is we're moving into the Siege of Terror sort of era of the game. Because apparently a certain miniature by the name of the Emperor is apparently coming to the Horus Heresy. And this is apparently new box set will be centered around the Siege of Terror. Although I've seen people talk about like it's apparently Salamanders versus Iron Warriors, which doesn't make sense. Because the poster child of the edition are Sons of Horus and Imperial fists. So, you know, there's that. Yeah, exactly. They don't have the resources to churn out a new edition every 3 years. It's they really don't. It's to even contemplate that, and it's the same with them talking about the old world. In the same vein, it's like you get Rob at Honest Wargamer talking about like a new edition of the old world, and the old world is like what, just over a year old, and it's like what, like they haven't even got all of the armies out already, and you're talking about a new edition. I mean, that's one guy who's not very liked in the old world community. Was laughing because they posted up their sort of FAQ to the old world in one of the big old world Facebook groups, and it got absolutely slated, like absolutely slated. It was quite funny. That black is actually looking quite nice. I'm really liking that sort of matte varnish and then doing the black over the top. I quite like that a lot. So I'm going to get the time's it 30:30. I have got 15 minutes. Let's get this black armor done in 15 minutes. Let's do this. Speed painting, heavy metal style. Then I'm going to make myself a big coffee. I'm going to get down. I'm going to watch England beat Wales and win the Six Nations. Because Ireland fucked it. Okay, so this is Thunderhawk Blue. This is my go-to recipe when it comes to black. You can do various different shades. You can do like a nice warm black using Mechanica Standard Grey and Dawn Stone. But there's quite some bright, vibrant pink there. That's kind of bringing your warm tones in. You've got your bit of gold. You've got your sort of bright silvers. So I need a nice contrasting colour, and sort of the bluey grey black works really well with that. That edge highlighting like a pro. Do like edge highlighting. I could get really lost in the process. Normally I'd just be sat here listening to my audiobook, and I'll be like painting away like a little happy nerd. But yeah, this is I don't think these are going to take that long to do. It's mostly black, the bit of pink. The belt, I'll probably do Rhinox hide and then sort of do my standard way I do my browns, my leathers. I mean, you could do quite a richer brown, I suppose, using something maybe like a Thondir brown as the base coat, then edge highlight it up with Mournfang brown and XV88. Ireland just got a bonus point win, so the pressure is on. Did they actually get the bonus point against Italy? That means for them to win, England and France need to not get the bonus point. Now, I think that's definitely possible with England. I mean, if any of the three are going to cock it up, it'll be England. But I'll be completely honest. If France get beat by Scotland, I will be highly surprised. If Scotland deny them getting the bonus point, I'll be highly surprised. So yeah, I'm fully expecting France to walk away with the title here. But there's a chance that that England can still get it. The final edge highlight of this, and it's basically just going to be a spot edge highlight, will be Fenrisian grey, and that'll be just at the sharpest points. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how that's looking actually. I think that's going to look quite a nice little army. Happy with the pink, which is the main thing because that's one of the main colours of the army. So what's your predictions for the Deepkin, Pete? Do you think we'll get giant crab infantry? What time is it? Right, almost got the black done. In the next stream, I'm gonna have a goal. Okay. On the bottom, and this is to help raise money for a Secret Labs Ultramarines chair. So if you want to help the channel out, they'll have ways of doing it. Unless Secret Labs watch this and would like to send me one. Not sure if... I think this is a grenade he's holding. Right. I am pretty happy with how this is shaping up. I'm quite confident that the army, by the time it was finished, will look quite good. So, end of spells and a new hero is a probability. Yeah, sounds about right. Tarragon Turquoise. So this colour, this is really strong. So if you do this with your goals, right, this stuff, thin it right down with a crap load of water on medium, because it is seriously strong, really heavily pigmented. So it's just a matter of doing the final dot highlight with the Fenrisian grey on the black. Edge highlight all of these parts here with sort of Dawnstone Eshin grey, and then finish off the gun and stuff. But I need to tint this gold down, so I want to get it nice weathered and worn. So Tarragon is perfect for this. I'll be putting like a verdigris on it when I finish. Hi, Mrs. Pointy.
The anthems are on.
Yeah, are they ready to kick off?
Well, they're singing the anthems now.
Alright. Right, people, I will be going in a second because apparently they're singing the greatest national anthem ever. Danny Boy. Okay. So, that'll dry nicely. That'll give me like a nice sort of dark, dirty gold to play with, and then I'll be able to do the rest of the stuff on there. But all in all, I think as a start, that is actually quite nice. I think that's going to look quite a nice little army. That I quite like the pink being in the upper part of the body. I say that now, but I probably at some stage will probably start slapping pink in different parts of the models as I work through the army. But at the moment, we're going to go for this sort of scheme. I think it looks pretty good. Quite happy with it. The gun, I'll probably do the same sort of edge highlighting as the undersuit. The matte varnish over the black power armor and then the edge highlighting on that actually looks really, really good. So I will be doing that a lot more on a lot of projects from there. And yeah, so I'll probably be back at some point tomorrow doing a little bit more work on these. Now that I'm happy with this, I'll probably just mainly work on this guy and start getting the Lord Exultant done. One of probably at least 3 I'm going to have. But yeah, I'll get the head and the power pack done on this guy, but that's it. Alright, so I will be back tomorrow. Thank you everybody for keeping me company. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks very much, Pete, for answering that rules question. I will probably see you at the club very, very soon. Alright, peeps. Catch you all later. Bye-bye.